The Kansas state capitol is in Topeka. Capital cities in each state have a capitol building or state house. The business of the state government is conducted here. Your legislators come here to the Capitol to work on the laws that affect our state. Our state gets its name from the Kaw Nation, also called or known as the Kansa. They lived here before Kansas was even a state. The Kansas River is named for them. The Capitol was built with the plans to add a statue at the top, but years passed while people debated on what would be the right choice. Finally, in 2002, the statue known as Ad Astra was placed on top of the dome. He is named for the state's official motto, meaning "to the stars through difficulties." The statue symbolizes the Kansa or Kaw warrior facing the North Star. Inside is the Visitors Center, and on the floor you'll find a map of all the Kansas counties. Our state has 105 counties. Can you find the capital city, Topeka, on the map? It is in Shawnee County. Every county has a county seat where their county courthouse is located. Can you find your county on the map?
Hello, Kansas kids. I'm Governor Laura Kelly, and I'm here to take you on a virtual tour of the Kansas State Capitol here in Topeka. Here's Joe Brentano. Joe gives tours in the Capitol all of the time, and I can tell you he is the best. So get it started, Joe.
Well, thank you, Governor. This is a great honor.
Hey guys, this is my actual office. This is where I work. You can see up on the walls, we've got a number of absolutely stunning photographs. These were done by my friend Judith Sabatini. She's an artist and she focuses on the Flint Hills. So over here, I've got a lot of leftover stuff from the 14 years I spent in the state senate. Lots of good gewgaws. One of my favorites is this box of baseball cards. This is actually Joe DiMaggio. Some of you may have heard of him. He's a very famous New York Yankee. They called him the Slugger. I was a Yankees fan when I was a kid. My dad and my mom were born in New York, as was I, and so I grew up as a Yankees fan. I love the Royals now. And the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court also was a Yankees fan, and he gave these to me as a gift. So one of my favorite things. Up here, you're going to see an elephant. If you know the symbols of the political parties, Democrats have donkeys, Republicans have elephants, and my Republican friends in the Senate gave that to me when I broke my femur in a parade, and they gave that to me as a get-well gift.
So, Governor, working in this space, what are some of the most important things that you've worked on while in the office?
Well, absolutely no doubt that the most important thing that I've done since I've been governor, aside from trying to get us through this public health crisis, was the passage of the school finance bill, where we finally started, giving our schools enough money to do the job that they're entrusted to do. So that getting the school finance bill passed was the most important thing. We're in what's called the Governor's Ceremonial Office. This is where people come in if they're being recognized for a special award, or if we're proclaiming, a month as National School Month. Everybody will come in here to have their picture taken with the governor. If you were to come here as a page during the legislative session, you would come in here in the morning and have your picture taken with the governor. As you know, I'm the governor of the entire state of Kansas. In the state, we have 105 counties. Every county has a courthouse as the center of the county. So what I wanted to do was to show off that part of Kansas. So I asked the Kansas Historic Society to put together a collection of photographs of all of our courthouses, and we've got 14 of them up now. The Historic Society will come and take these down and put up 14 more, and we'll continue to rotate them so that all 105 county courthouses will be displayed in the ceremonial office over the course of my first term. The laws of Kansas are made right here in the state capitol. I'm standing in the Kansas House of Representatives chamber. Your mom and dads elect the folks who come here to help make the laws. I'm going to let Joe tell you a little bit about this facility.
Thank you, Governor. Well, our House is made up of 125 representatives. They come from districts from all over the state, and the districts are population-based, so each one represents roughly 24,000 Kansans, and they're elected to serve a 2-year term. We don't have term limits on our legislators in Kansas, so they may be elected to serve multiple terms there. Members are seated by their political affiliation, and you've got the leadership in each of the parties, and their desks are up front. The large chair up front at the top of the podium or rostrum is where the speaker sits. The speaker is chosen by the group to serve as the leader. Clerks sit below, and the podium in front is the well of the chamber where our laws are vetted and debated here. They have a procedure here in the House. Every member has buttons at their desks, and they must be recognized by the chair. Then when they are recognized, they will go up front and debate at the podium. And there are 2 microphones up there, so you might be standing next to your colleague debating the pros or cons of these bills or ideas that potentially could become our state law. Now, when the members are ready to vote, they do it electronically. So at each of their desks, they have a series of buttons, a yes and a no vote. And the voting results appear on the voting boards, which are at the top of the chamber. Because we're not in session right now, the voting boards sit flush in the wall, and you hardly notice they're even there.
This is absolutely my favorite place in the entire state capitol. I spent 14 years here serving in the state senate, sitting at this very desk. Now, let's go over to Joe and talk about the chamber.
Well, welcome to the Senate. And their state senate is made up of 40 members, and again, they are elected by districts based on population. Senators have a 4-year term, and they represent a larger constituent base of about 70,000 Kansans. Now, behind me, the Senate also chooses a leader. He or she is known as the Senate President. So the large chair at the rostrum is for Senate President. Clerks sit below, and those student pages are 12 to 18-year-olds that come and work for the day for their representative or senator and get to take part in the process. So if you're a page, you get to sit up front here. Now, unlike the House, remember, that had the large podium in the center, each senator has their own microphone. So the senators stand from their desk to address the group. They don't have to come up front as they do in the House. And notice on the desk there are no electronic buttons or tabulations for voting, because in the Senate it's by division of the assembly, an oral, a yay or nay vote. We are on the second floor of the Capitol. This mural by John Stuart Curry is called the Kansas Pastoral. Curry wanted to feature a Kansas farm couple with their family or children. Behind them are the red barn and the farmhouse. At one time, many Kansans lived on farms. Farmers raised all kinds of livestock, including cattle, hogs, chickens, and sheep.
Here we are, still on the second floor, but now we're in what's called the Rotunda. This is sort of the central hallway of the State House. And what we're going to talk about here will be this mural up here, which has a one-room schoolhouse like kids used to go to in Kansas, and then also a very special person in Kansas history. Joe.
The one-room schoolhouse was often the center of the community, and the teacher was responsible for all the curriculum for several grades, first grade up into the 8th grade there. So she would be responsible for reading, writing, and arithmetic, the basics. They used slates and slate pencils, and that was their very basic supplies. The teacher was responsible for giving all the lessons for all the grades, and of course it was the blackboard that was the main tool, sort of the iPad of its day, I suppose, where all the lessons would be written down. And the students were expected to do recitations for testing and such. The older grades might bring in wood for the potbelly stove. Younger kids might be assigned to clean the blackboards and clean those wool felt erasers, clap them together was often one of the fun things. The teacher might have a map in the classroom, a globe, and if the teacher was musical, there would often be a piano available. Lumen Martin Winter specifically has this schoolhouse placed in here, and notice the teacher is leading the children to the shelter there because of the tornado. But I'll share with you, you might notice there is one young man in the foreground not paying attention to his teacher. Well, that happens to be the artist. Winter painted himself in the painting. He grew up near Larned, Kansas, and it said he patterned that schoolhouse to look like the one he attended growing up there. And right here we have pilot aviator Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart grew up in Atchison, Kansas there, and one of the best known stories is they created a roller coaster out of some roller skate wheels as a child, and she got her sense of flying from that example as a child there. In the 1930s, she will be the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. Today, we still think about that spirit of adventure that Amelia Earhart had.
We're on the third floor of the state capitol, right outside the old Supreme Court room. A new addition to the state capitol was this mural done in 2018. It depicts one of the most important events that ever happened in the state of Kansas, and that probably has the biggest impact on your schools today. Joe, why don't you tell us about this?
Some schools were segregated by race in the United States. This mural shows two schools in Topeka. On the top left is the Sumner School for white children. At the top right is the Monroe School for black children to attend. African American families worked together to convince the courts to allow both white and black students to attend school together. Brown versus Board of Education became a very famous case. The case was named after a Topeka family that was part of this fight. The 5 flags at the top right of the mural mark the other states that were involved in the case, and they are South Carolina, Virginia, Kansas, Delaware, and the District of Columbia. All those cases were rolled together, and they were argued in front of the U.S. Supreme Court, which is the building depicted in the center background. The court ruled in 1954 that separate but equal is inherently unequal, and all 9 justices agreed. That meant that schools could no longer be separate for students by race, and black and white children can go to school together.
We are now on the 3rd floor, and we're in the official Kansas State Library. This is an absolutely remarkable facility, and I hope you have a chance to come visit this yourself.
Every state has a library system. However, they're not always located in the capital, and ours has always been here. Any Kansan can use the resources here. Maybe you're a Kansan that can't travel to Topeka. You can go through your local library and get a state e-library card to access all of the resources here. The Kansas State Library works with librarians in your communities and schools to help you find information. Did you know that there are 326 libraries all around Kansas? Libraries are a great place to visit and explore when you can. Even when you can't visit in person, they can help you find a lot of free materials online. You can see a lot of state symbols in our Kansas State Capitol. These brass sunflowers are in the state library. The sunflower is the state flower. The flowers turn and face the sun. This is a carved limestone buffalo. The buffalo is the state animal. At one time, there were thousands of buffalo on the prairie. This cottonwood chair is carved from a tree planted when the Capitol was built. The cottonwood tree is the state tree. This Tylosaurus was young when it lived in an ocean when Kansas was underwater. The Tylosaurus is the state marine fossil. What is your favorite state symbol?
We've come to the end of our tour of the Kansas State Capitol. I want to thank Joe so very much. You did a fabulous job. I'm sure the kids will enjoy it. And I want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch this. I hope so much that very soon you'll actually be able to come here and meet Joe and have a tour of the Capitol in the actual building. You all take care.